Listen up, Raider Nation. Today, we uncover the massive victors and fallen victims following this wild off-season frenzy. We are tearing into the offensive battleground. Then, we are going to dissect the brutal defensive trenches out there. Make no mistake, though, zero fresh acquisitions, zero returning veterans, and zero tenured guys will claim a single spotlight in this breakdown. Picture this battlefield. We had the open market warriors, alongside the locked-in soldiers already commanding our squad. Out of those returning gladiators standing tall, a select few emerge triumphant from these massive moves, while others tragically face a devastating fall. I am counting down our top 5 ultimate conquerors right now. As for the defeated, we will strictly highlight 3 fallen warriors. We strike the offensive trenches first. Securing the number 5 spot is an absolute beast, Charles Grant. The ultimate reason this titan dominates my victor board? The massive storm of swirling doubts. Fierce rumors raged. Would Las Vegas drag a Braden Smith into the trenches? Would this empire secure a fresh right tackle? Las Vegas selected this warrior in round 3 last year. Sure, that was the previous kingdom's call, but hear my absolute truth today. This monster is the supreme right tackle for our empire. Yes, DJ Glaze took charge previously. However, Glaze surrendered 10 vicious sacks, stumbling hard during crucial combat moments. He showcased fiercer potential as a freshman, offering immense hope. Honestly, Brett and Carroll likely caused a massive chunk of that misery, yet for this savage standout, I foresee an epic, bloody war against Glaze for that crown. Since Las Vegas actively refused to buy a mercenary for that exact post, their absolute faith in him is glaring. They trust Glaze, but my faith in our rising star burns hotter, planting him firmly at number 5. Now, brace yourselves for number 4 today. Jackson Powers Johnson. Las Vegas just locked in Tyler Linderbaum. Align that beast beside JPJ, and I could not care less if he dominates the right guard slot or violently crushes the left guard. That guarantees massive wealth for our guy. Why? Because he is about to unleash the most terrifying iteration of himself in our history. These titans will clash beautifully in tandem. 2 former Mat warriors who absolutely thrive on destroying souls in the ground assault. And when our ultimate alpha strikes, you will discover his identity very shortly. When that supreme weapon erupts and delivers a legendary campaign, the entire world will heavily praise Tyler. The masses will worship JPJ. Guards command larger bounties than centers, excluding freaks like Linderbaum bagging 27 mil. I passionately, truly believe this reality. The chaotic noise surrounding our center dies. His true role is set. He is starving to dominate the guard slot, and JPJ will unleash his most explosive campaign ever, purely because this phenomenal reinforcement transforms him into an absolute juggernaut. Shifting to number 3 now. This revelation may shock the masses, but I am fiercely tossing Trey Tucker in. The critical factor launching him onto this stage is simple. Las Vegas clearly possessed the power to acquire a prime alpha threat. Yet, as I record this blazing breakdown, 0 elite playmakers have joined the ranks. Thus, Tucker stands tall. True, the Empire just recruited Jalen Naylor, but I envision an absolute bloodbath between these 2 warriors, violently fighting for that crown. Since I am desperately demanding Las Vegas hunt down an apex predator, whether through the intense rookie selection or by hunting another dangerous mercenary. However, catch this brutal truth. If the franchise actively scores a premier superstar, his triumphant status vanishes instantly into dust. Yet, recruiting a secondary weapon ensures he remains an absolute focal point. He firmly survives the debate as a premier target here, plunging into a fresh kingdom alongside an elite gunslinger. While protected by a vastly fortified wall of blockers, his terrifying potential is about to explode. A superior signal caller automatically elevates his lethality during a massive do-or-die proving ground campaign. Should he conquer this intense trial, the absolute sky is the limit for his wild destiny. A massive treasure chest awaits him soon. Charging into number 2, yes, he is absent right now. But hear me out. I frankly do not care. I rock this armor proudly. Fernando Mendoza conquered this chaotic market period, thriving for a million crazy motives. Naturally, capturing Linderbaum instantly supercharges the trenches. Snagging a weapon like Naylor injects pure, blazing venom into our deadly receiving arsenal. Furthermore, every single violent upgrade executed across the defensive battleground drastically shields Mendoza. I refuse to watch our freshman gunslinger panic and unleash 40 to 50 desperate rockets every single brutal afternoon. Such chaos destroys his evolution. Forging this prodigy into a weapon demands absolute reliance on a terrifying, unbreakable defensive juggernaut, leaning heavily on a systematic attack, and trusting your massive blockers to violently ignite the rushing war. before unmasking the ultimate conqueror of this off-season frenzy, and frankly, zero souls will be shocked. I guarantee that if you interrogate 100 diehard fanatics screaming in the legendary black hole regarding the supreme victor, exactly 100 out of 100 warriors will scream the precise name commanding my gold medal. If your gut demands to challenge my blazing takes, sound off in the war zone below. Who truly conquered the National Football League frenzy? A commercial break is attacking shortly. While that nonsense rolls, dive into the comments and declare your champion, because my definitive alpha is Ashton Jeanty. Vegas sees this phenom at number 6. I swear, witnessing a tailback viciously bleed and battle through the trenches merely to taste the secondary level was unprecedented until this spectacular warrior arrived. Injecting a beast like Linderbaum magically morphs JPJ into a god. You secure a lethal field general in Mendoza. Sure, his ultimate form remains hidden, but absolute greatness is coming. With the defensive squad currently breathing fire, their dominance empowers the offense to violently pound the rock. The franchise executed an absolute masterclass in elevating Ashton Jeanty and amplifying that rushing terror. Mendoza will massively benefit. The entire empire ascends to glorious new heights. Thus, Ashton Jeanty stands as the ultimate champion. Guess what? He'll be planting his feet in the end zone constantly, and I just hope Chip Kelly watches Ashton Jeanty rack up yards this season with that killer stance. And for anyone who wants that shirt, you can grab yours over at jadsports.com/rrshop. Now, let's switch to the offensive players who lost out. I won't go into great detail here, so just follow my logic. Think about it. Where there are winners, there must be losers. At number 3, I have Caleb Rogers, whose spot is threatened because the Raiders brought Jordan Meredith back. I know Meredith was shaky at center last season, but he was outstanding at guard in 2024, meaning Glaze and Charles Grant will battle for right tackle. That pits Jordan Meredith directly against Caleb Rogers at guard. Rogers is a locker room favorite, but I believe Meredith is the better player, and I'll stand by this. The Raiders are bringing Spencer Burford in for a visit, a player with ties to Clint Kubiak. His ability to play both left and right guard makes him yet another body thrown into that competitive mix. For our number 2 loser on offense, it has to be Antonio Mafi, because he simply will not make the final cut. He was a player Chip Kelly brought in for some interior line depth, using him at both left and right guard positions. He struggled significantly, and though he's young at 25, the Raiders are still scouting talent for that offensive line. So even for a bottom of the roster spot, I don't see Antonio Mafi making the team. We have one final loser to name. And before we unveil the biggest loser on the offensive side, I need to give a massive shout out to our sponsor today, Cheers. If you're not familiar with Cheers, I am thrilled to have them, especially now that I'm 33. My recovery isn't what it used to be, so when my wife Alex and I go out for a celebratory drink or two, it's different. Alex will celebrate absolutely anything, and our go-to is usually a glass of champagne, or maybe I'll have an old-fashioned. I take a Cheers and I rebound the next day with no problem. It means a great night out and a much better morning. For a short period, our listeners can get 20% off their purchase with the code CHAT at cheershealth.com. Use code CHAT for 20% off. When you check out, they'll ask how you heard about them. Please say Mitchell Wren from the Raiders Report sent you. Now, for some background on Cheers. It was invented by a Princeton student based on research into a new compound called DHM. DHM showed powerful alcohol-related benefits for the brain and liver. So Cheers was engineered for alcohol's total effect, not just dehydration. They've sold more than 50 million doses and have 7,500 4- and 5-star Amazon reviews. And you can find Cheers in over 30,000 stores, including Walgreens, CVS, 7-Eleven, and Circle K. You will feel about 50% better the next day, guaranteed, or your money back. This is not designed for college-style binging. If you take 12 tequila shots, you are definitely still going to feel terrible. But if you're an adult responsibly enjoying 1, 2, or even 4 drinks, Cheers will make a world of difference. So, enjoy the same night out with a far better morning thanks to Cheers. For a limited time, get 20% off using code CHAT at cheershealth.com. Just go to cheershealth.com and use the code for 20% off your order. They will ask where you found out about them. So please let them know Mitchell Wren from the Raiders Report sent you their way. Let's get to the biggest loser on offense, and that's going to be Dante Thornton Jr., because the Raiders signed Jalen Naylor. Jalen Naylor is now your designated field stretcher. Thornton, a holdover from the last regime, just isn't ready. And trust me, he isn't ready. My sources are telling me Thornton may not even survive the final roster cuts this season. This comes as the Raiders are actively searching for a true X receiver in the draft. and I mean they are looking for a game changer. This team is still hunting for a number one wideout. I've also heard Shedrick Jackson might take Thornton's role. So you've got Tucker, Best, and Naylor. And you can bet the Raiders are going to add at least one more receiver to that group. That's easily 4 players who will be ranked higher than Dante Thornton. Is he a phenomenal athlete? Yes. 6'5", 210 pounds, and runs like the wind. But he must add more physicality to his game. I think he has to develop an NFL caliber route tree, but the signing of Naylor was the nail in the coffin. And because I know for a fact the Raiders are still seeking a true number one receiver, I'm forced to name Dante Thornton Jr. the biggest loser, which honestly hurts. Let's move on to the biggest winners on the defensive side. I'm choosing Jonathan Liu for a couple of reasons. First, the move to a 3-4 front will really benefit him and should increase his snaps. I believe Max Crosby will be playing more outside linebacker than defensive end, and I doubt that will surprise anyone. Kwity Paye is going to get more time at defensive end than I initially predicted, but the team has only brought back Thomas Booker for depth. So, if they've only re-signed Thomas Booker, that means Adam Butler's spot is completely secure. Yep, he's safe. You have John Liu, and who else will be added to that interior mix? You've got Tonka Hemingway, and you have J.J. Pages. But I still insist the Raiders must invest in their front line, because if they don't acquire a defensive tackle, or at least a bigger body for the interior, then it's a massive victory for a young talent like Johnny Lee. Now, at number 4, for identical reasons, Adam Butler. Yes, Butler had a dip in performance last season versus 2024, but he is a proven veteran. Butler is the kind of guy. Like how I view Isaiah Pola-Mao as a number 3 safety, I see Butler as a number 3 defensive tackle. I want John Lala slotted as a number 3 D tackle, the same way I view Trey Tucker and Jack B, or Jalen Naylor as a wide receiver 3. It signals our offense and D-line are thriving. Thus, with no tackle signed, Adam Butler wins. He's lined up to take the most snaps for the team this year, but I truly hope that changes. I'd love to see them grab a player like Lee Hunter in the draft. Let's move to number 3, Darian Porter. The Raiders re-signed Eric Stokes for one side, leaving Darian Porter as the starting corner on the other. Vegas did add Taron Johnson, a nickel linebacker hybrid from his Buffalo days when Al Holcomb coached linebackers. Holcomb's now a senior defensive assistant with us, but Porter has unbelievable upside, a raw athletic phenom learning the position. I have considered the possibility of the Raiders shifting Porter to the free safety spot. What if you put Porter at free safety? Unleash his athleticism, as he isn't always physical enough for corner, and you can just see his movement. It's so smooth, so natural. A former receiver who can go up and get the football. It makes me wonder, with the void at free safety, this idea has always been compelling to me. Since they've only added Stokes and Johnson, it confirms Darian Porter is set to start at corner on the outside. Let's get to our number 2 pick, and that will be Max Crosby. I was just listening to his podcast, The Rush, covering his whole ordeal with Baltimore. It's required listening for anyone in Raider Nation. I'm about halfway through and will finish it soon. That entire experience with Max is why he's a winner. For one, he learned the grass isn't always greener. Having something great, even without winning, matters. I'd rather win here at Chat Sports than somewhere else, to put it my way. Additionally, this defense projects to be the best he's ever played with. This is the best Raiders team number 98 has been on. I'm certain that fact fuels him, too. So, Max is back with the team, and I'm ecstatic about it. The 3-4 scheme will suit Max perfectly, yet he's not the ultimate winner here. For me, the top winner currently is Isaiah Pola-Mao, because if you ask most fans about the team's greatest need, I believe they would say free safety. Of course, you'd hear number 1 receiver or defensive tackle, but if I asked for the biggest need on defense, I'm sure most would say free safety. I'm not against Isaiah Pola-Mao starting. I just demand he play in his proper role. He is not a natural free safety. He's not a player you want in deep coverage, where he struggled immensely last year. The reason? He was put in the wrong position to succeed. But as of today, he'd be your starter. Since the Raiders did nothing at safety besides re-signing Tristan McCullum for probably $960,000, they need to get serious. But if they do sign a true free safety, Isaiah Pola-Mao immediately comes off this winner's list. Will they look to the draft, free agency, or even a trade? For our viewers watching live on the Raiders Report, we will cover some of the losers on the defensive side in just a moment. I personally feel that if you watch this show without wanting our gear, you're a loser. I'm just playing, of course. But what I will say is this: always support the Raiders Report. I feel like we're the amazing Kubiak. I'm in love with the merchandise our team has released. It has made my life so much easier, allowing me to create more content instead of shipping hats and shirts on Wednesdays. Now, my team handles all of that for me. So if you want a Raiders Report hat or a Raiders Report shirt or any gear like this Mendoza shirt I have on or our biggest seller ever, visit chatsports.com/rrshop. We have a wide range of shapes and sizes. If we don't carry yours, tell us on the live show and we'll see what we can do. Let's shift to the losers on the defensive side. Coming in at number 3 is Cameron Richardson, because the Raiders opted to bring Stokes back. And from some of the information I've gathered, it feels like the organization has simply lost faith in Richardson. I could be wrong. He might carve out a role for you on special teams, but as a core defender, it's clear they don't see it. Moving on to number 2, Tommy Eichenberg. And frankly, you could include number 1 here as well. Same role, Eichenberg and Cody Lindbergh. Eichenberg was a 5th rounder from Ohio State in 2024. The Raiders went and acquired not just Nakobe Dean, but also Quay Walker. They are now your definitive starting linebackers. It is undeniable that those two are the starters. I just don't see Eichenberg winning that battle. I don't see Cody Lindbergh, a 7th round selection last season, claiming that spot either. And what's more, just yesterday the Raiders, they went and picked up Shu Alobe, a linebacker safety hybrid who adds tremendous value on special teams. So, if you'd asked me where Cody Lindbergh and Tommy Eichenberg would contribute most this season, I'd have said special teams. But now, their special team snaps are threatened, not just by Alobe, but by the new receiver, Derek Young. Both are absolute demons on special teams. That is precisely why they're the biggest losers on defense. So, let's recap. The biggest offensive winner, in my eyes, has to be Ashton Jeanty. They made so many moves this offseason to bolster the offensive line around him. On the flip side, the losers are the 2 interior offensive linemen, and also Dante Thornton Jr., who is tumbling down the depth chart after the Jalen Naylor acquisition. Defensively, the top winner is Isaiah Palm, since we haven't acquired a safety, leaving him the default starter. I also have to include Max in here. This is the most dominant defense he's ever had. As for the losers on defense, Eichenberg and Cody Lindbergh. This is purely due to signing Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean, plus their other special teams additions. If you don't follow me online, I truly hope you will. I hope I've built up some credibility over this last month, and certainly these past few years. My team and I are committed. When Raiders news breaks, you'll hear it from us. And sometimes I'll post it on social media before it drops on YouTube. So if you can't find me, that's your problem, because I'm at Mitchell Wren 365 on absolutely everything.